How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins submitted for this week. If you're new to this, these are a lot of skins. You might be wondering where you can buy them. They are not available yet. Some of these may make it in this week on Thursday when the store changes. Some may never ever make it. We'll just have to see, and then some might not be this week, but might be another week. You'll just have to see. But we've got the burlap head wrap, the chest and legs. Now we've got the gloves and the boots to go along with the reptile set. Next, we've got a camo poncho for you. This one here is simply the Arctic Protection Poncho by Demon. And as you can see, yeah, the whole thing just has a nice little Arctic camo to it and fits perfectly in for those early parts of surviving in the snow. Next, we've got the cat and its back, and this time it's part of a hoodie. It has a little meow on the side, and it is now the toy cat hat. And as you can see, the cat itself looks like it is made and stitched like a kind of fluffy little toy. So hey, maybe this change up will change it, but I think it was a lot funnier when it was kind of like a weird stuffed dead real cat. It's a little morbid, and I love cats. I have 7 myself, so I'm saying that with the most humor. But this thing's just goofy and hilarious, and I love it. Last week we saw the high qual set. Now we've got some pants and a hoodie to go along with it. It's got pretty much just kind of the pattern going along, but you've got that same matching dragon to go along with that. Well, I still say it's a creepy face mask. We've got something a little more bright for you. This is the Rush hoodie by Cubist. And yeah, Rust, I think, you know, it's a play on Rust, but also like that time period where everyone dressed up in bright neon windbreakers. And yeah, this just kind of fits along with it. So we got something a little more on the rare side. It is a deer helmet. Some people may have forgotten this thing is the bone helmet's even skinnable. This is the Shaman by Corb, and yeah, this thing doesn't always have the best skins. I feel like the actual wrap itself could have maybe been done a little better, but the actual bone part of this is just really well carved and painted up, and it's actually what it looks like at night. That is really, really cool. Look at that. I mean, it just looks like something straight out of like a festival. And probably not the best idea if you want to glow at night, but hey, it's definitely very, very cool. Next, we've got version 2 of an older jacket, the Raven Cloak by Anathan, and the whole thing looks like it is made up with raven feathers. It's got these skulls adorning it here and there. It's definitely a very dark, but yet very kind of warm looking cloak here. Definitely could see some Game of Thrones fans liking it, and yeah, just definitely something in general fits Rust. We've got several road sign sets for you with the Skull Killer starting it off here. And we've seen the high qual set and so forth, but this is the first iteration with some road sign. It's scarred up like the rest of the set. You can see there's like a killa or kill right there, another kill right there. And yeah, it just kind of has that same kind of like skull design to the mask, but it's not like a full skull. I think it definitely fits pretty well. We've got a version 2 of the Renegade set, and here's the road sign V2. Definitely has a lot nicer details to it, I would say. Everything looks a lot more fresh and so forth. You still have kind of like the med syringes on it, lots of little details, kind of shredded pieces of everything, rubber and metal, all kind of put together with a twisted smile. Next, we've got the black gold road sign set for you. Coffee can, vest, and kilt. There it is in its kind of matted black and gold goodness, as you would expect. I could definitely see this one popping in with a higher price tag this next week. Next up, we've got some high qual sets, starting out with this one here, which has this beautiful sculpted wood. This is the Longevity set by Scorpion, and yeah, it's just like this carved, like very thick wood, like an oak maybe, and yeah, it's just a very, very earthy looking set, but still looks quite badass. Last, for our armor, we've got the Watchdog set for you, and as you can see here, it is a bulldog. He's got his tennis ball grenades across the chest there and everything, and there's even some tears. He's been in some fights. It's just a silly set. A lot of people like the animal sets in Rust. It kind of fits the wackiness of it, so hey, there you go. This could maybe be a next one. Next up, we've got our deployables. Starting off, we've got some furnaces for you, and this one is a very kind of psychedelic, artistic one for sure. We've got this cool little furnace for you. It's got all sorts of kind of bright colors going on, etc. And it is the Abstract Furnace. So there we go. Then if we go ahead and head over to this one here, we've got kind of a chocolatey furnace for you. And this one is a chocolate fondue fountain. So there you go. Definitely a weird one. I like the heat monitor here with the switches. That is a nice little added addition to it. Then we've got some wooden doors for you. The first one here looks like such a fancy, regular little house door. This is the manufactured wooden door. It almost looks too fancy for your Rust base. Well, not your Rust base, but like a Rust base, I should say. Next, we've got a more kind of graffiti style door. This is the repaint wooden door by Spectre. We've got some knock knock on there, and then on the inside we've got do not open. Then we've got a friendly little kitty over here with the Friendly Cat wooden door. This does have a glow, so we'll be sure to show you that. Then moving on, we've got one more wooden door for you. This one is the Survival wooden door by Clark. And yeah, it's get out, wrong way. So far, you know, fits into Rust quite well. And then back here, you've also got another do not open. Then over here, we've got two very similar doors by two different people. We've got the classic sheet metal door over here, which is the, or Classwork, sorry, classic. So, hey, there's that. Then over here, we also have a very similar idea with the kind of drawing in a notebook with the school door. Then moving on, we've got a kind of more glowy kind of, I don't know how to really describe it, door. It's just very shiny. This is the Gnome Kingdom door. You can kind of see the gnome up there and some hammers over that shield. Then we've got one last door here with a kind of like squiggly little bear for you. This is the King of the Forest metal door. And I think that bear might have tentacles for arms. Definitely interesting. Then we did see a single version of this door, so now we've got a double metal door for the cooling station door. And of course it does have a glow and a non-glow version. Speaking of versions, we've got a version 2 and 3 technically of the smoldering garage door. And yeah, one kind of has the burn going out both sides, and then one has a split like this. The whole set kind of has a split, so I think this one fits it. But I definitely really like the reinforced kind of wood deal with this. It fits the garage door much better. Then we've got another kind of piece together garage door. This is the Metal Moon garage door, and it just kind of is all, you know, welded together stuff. Fits Rust pretty nicely, I would say. Then we've got some armor doors for you. The first one here is the Creepy Colors door, and yeah, it just kind of has like a punky kind of vibe going on with it. Go ahead and come around to the other set. You got a little danger warning there. Then if we go ahead and pop on up here, we saw the double armor door. Here's the single bank armor door by Squid. And next we have a garage door that is themed after some stuff in the game, which is always really cool. This is the Workbench Level 3 door by Duck, and as you can see, everything is just taken from the actual workbench itself, from the colors, and it's just been made into a door with the wood paneling and everything that is used in it. And I think that's definitely a very clever little design, for sure. And lastly, we'll just go ahead and kill the lights, and as you can see the glow here, it's keep out and radiation. Definitely very cool. Take a look at it back there. It's mostly just kind of like green smudges and so forth. And then if we check out the door of the Workbench 3, you can see it has that nice little light. Always like the little nice raid gets illuminated right there as well. And cruise on down to this over here. Nice kind of like neon through the rebar. I think that's a nice little effect. Then we've got our garage doors. The double door. We can cruise over to the dwarf. And all the way over to the kitty, which we said it glowed. It has like a radiation off, or radiation. The light radiates off of the lantern. There we go. Then, as you can see, these both kind of have just the normal kind of furnace glow. Nothing popping out in special areas there. Alright, next up we've got our tools, starting off with a couple of rocks for you. This one is on the bright kind of shiny side. This is the Wizard Shard. And yeah, it looks like it might be kind of glowy, but it's just a very shimmery rock. Then we've got a candy looking rock for you. This is the Sugar Daddy rock. There you go, Sugar Daddy, I guess. Next, we've got a kind of ancient Egyptian looking rock. This is the Golden Sand rock by Kess. And yeah, it just has a very nice looking Egyptian vibe. Then we've got some tools for you, starting off with the From Hell set. This has definitely been a very popular set in the past, so I could see these tools doing, oops, quite well. There we go. And then, of course, everyone's going to say, well, do they glow? And, of course, the whole set does. So there is that glow on these. Then we've got another tool set for you, and this one has a very kind of beautiful gemstone. This is the Tempered Glass set, and this one actually has a glow as well. Head and grab out the matching pick, and we can go ahead and kill the lights again. There's that kind of beautiful blue shimmer on those. Next, we've got metal hatchet and pickaxe for you, and they are the low poly ones. This has definitely been a really increasingly popular set as new pieces have been adding to it, so I could see these maybe popping in as the tools this week. But there's also that From Hell set we just saw. Then we've got a crazy looking crossbow. I think this one is just a little bit overly textured, but still quite cool. This is the crossbow hologram. And yeah, it's just a very, very cool idea. But maybe too kind of future techy for Helk. But we can kill the lights, and it does have a equally awesome glow. Then if we go ahead and move on, we've got a snake skin crossbow for you. With the bow matching along, the crossbow has to come in and complete the set, right? So there is that one there. Then we've got an Ioka for you, and this one is a part of the Antique set by Vitalik, and of course is therefore the Antique Ioka. Last in this group, we've got a DB, and it's got some nice blue flames for you. This is the Cold Flame DBS, and in case you're wondering, it's still hot, as it says up there in front. Aiming down the sights, you've got some blue flames, and the typical kind of copper sight with the DB there. Alright, next up we've got a Python for you here, and this one has kind of very kind of tribal look to it. This is the Lil Bone brother. And yeah, I think it's meant to look like it's carved out of bone, and I think they pull that off. Aiming down the sights, you've got some tribal designs, and a kind of beige sight versus the black. Then we've got some saps for you. Starting out here, we've got a kind of anarchy one for you. This is the Red Fire Death sap. There you go. Red Fire Death. Pretty straightforward. There's the rip. Then we've got kind of a shiny wood grain one for you. This is the wooden semi-pistol. So there you go. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a little tiny red tip. And the reload. Then we've got one last one. This is kind of a clean-cut look to it. This is the electric sap. And yeah, it kind of just reminds me of a very industrial kind of look. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of like a power marker and like a battery bar kind of look to it. It's techy enough, but without going out of the rust bounds, I would say, you know? Then we've got a SAR for you here, and this has got some colorful kind of color gradient thing going on. This is the Aurora SAR, and it's kind of got that bright, stark red, you know, grip wrap, and the rest of it kind of has that nice fade of green to blue. Aiming down the sights, you've got a equal red tip for the sight to match those wraps. Then we've got a couple MP5s for you, starting off with this one right here. This is the Airsoft MP5 by DDK, and well, it exactly is what it is. It's meant to look like an airsoft gun, and there you go. A couple people have tried this in the past, and we haven't really seen any pop it in, but we do have like the toy collection, so hey, never know. Might see something like this pop in. Next, we've got another MP5, and this should look familiar from last week. It's the Cyber Attack MP5. So we saw the LR, and now we've got the MP5. Same kind of like, you know, rainbowy look, but with a battle-scarred kind of difference to it. Sight is black on black, so, you know, we could use maybe a little more coloration there, but still not too bad overall. Then we've got a continuation in a set that's been decently popular, the Noir set by Saudenzer. So, we've got that Noir MP5. Aim down the sights, you've got that white versus the black kind of, well, noir comic look. Or graphic novel, I should say, maybe. Then we've got some AKs for you. Starting out with this mean one right here. This is the Hardcore AR by Little Ranger. And with the Hardcore update coming out, you gotta have a Hardcore AK to match along with it. So there you go. Aim down the sights, you've got an eye judging you, and a black tip against the red for the sight. Then we've got a few more AKs. This one has kind of a smooth but faded look to it. This is the Sideline AR by Sill. Aim down the sights here, you've got that kind of aqua color versus the black. Might look like glow sights, but they are just painted up. Then we've got another AR, and this one kind of has artwork is a little bit different from what usually makes it into Rust. So I don't know, this kind of almost looks like a streamer skin, but the artwork's done pretty well, and the AK has a nice kind of light coloring to it. So didn't want to go ahead and skip up on that. But again, the artwork might not quite be what Hulk's looking for, and more on the lines of a streamer kind of skin. Next, we've got another AK here, and this one's all sorts of speckled up with paint. This is the Devastator. I don't know if it's meant to be spelled that way or not. One way or another, it fits that kind of ragtag, handmade look that Rust has going on, especially with electrical tape and so forth. Aim down the sights. Again, there's a little bit of silver and black, but not too much contrast there. And there's that reload. Next, we've got some more AKs for you. Starting out with this one right here. This is the Hellfire AK. It looks like skulls are quite the theme going along. We've got burning skulls this time on this one. Aim down the sights. You've got, I guess, kind of just like a flame thing going on there. And there is that. Then we've got a very bright looking AK. It comes in two versions, and we've got some more screaming skulls. This is the fluorescent AK by Uproar. It does come in a glowing version, which, you know, might not be the safest to go out there with, but if you're feeling brave, hey, whatever, right? There you go. Then we can go ahead and pop on over. We got one last AK for you. This should look familiar as part of a starting up set. This is the Night Watch AK-47. Very sleek, kind of clean look. Aiming down the sights, you've got the red versus the black sight there. Oh, we actually do have one more AK, I almost forgot. This one here is the AR Raid block. It comes in two different versions. This is the version 2, and the other one kind of has more orangey text instead of the white. And when you aim down the sights, you've actually got like a little grumpy face, which is definitely fun. Then we've got some LRs for you. Starting out with this crazy colorful one. This is the Hacked LR by MDE. And yeah, it's got the error and all that around it. Again, maybe a little too sci-fi for Rust, but one way or another, I could see a lot of people wanting to buy it. So hey, you never know. Maybe Hulk will pop it in. It definitely has some very bright colors going on. Next, we've got another LR for you, and this one should look familiar from the other week. This is the Flex set. You got the same kind of graffiti up on the side with the whitish background, and the aqua versus the white sight there, and a little dead face, which is quite cool. Or fun, however you want to say it. We've got one last LR for you. This should look familiar from the Plasticine set because, well, it's the Wild Plasticine LR. You've got fingerprints, and like the whole thing is basically kind of like a Play-Doh kind of thing. I'm sure everyone's played with something similar as a child. So definitely a funny, kind of goofy set. Aim down the sights there. You can even see some fingerprints and kind of like a weird eye stalk slime kind of dude. There we have it. Next, we've got another LR for you, and this one is kind of all drippy and painted and handmade. This is the No Future LR by Navram. Definitely fits into the Rusty world. Aiming down the sights, you've got kind of a crusty green and purple and black sight. Then we've got another LR with some crazy art. You've got this like Chinese dragon dog on the side. This is the Flame God LR. Definitely very cool looking art. Aiming down the sights, you've got like a neon green versus the kind of magenta there. And there's that reload. And last but not least, we've got an L9 for you. This one is got a very kind of industrial look to it. This is the premium L96. And it comes in a red version as well, red and black instead of the white and gold. You can check that down in the description below, but definitely a very fancy looking sniper. But that does it, everyone. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping will make it in the most. I'll try to get that feedback to help, and anyone else, if it's something else, to the right people. As always, thanks for watching, everyone. Stay rusty, and have a good one.